Back in 1893, Chicago gave the world a new type of structure. The Ferris wheel was tall, but incredibly heavy. To build an even bigger wheel at Earl's Court in London, engineers would have to find a new way to drive its massive frame around. In 1894, on a plot of land alongside the railway line at Earl's Court, the British are about to capitalize on the tremendous success of the Ferris wheel. Just 1 year after the Chicago wheel opens, London plans to build a wheel of its own. The engineer in charge of the project is ex-naval officer Walter Bassett. Bassett wants to build a sky wheel 94 meters high. Aptly named the gigantic wheel, it will be 14 meters taller and much heavier than Ferris's original wheel. Bassett's problem is making it turn.
One of the challenging things about Ferris wheels is getting them moving. And with this model, we're going to explore exactly what the challenge is. You might think that we would do it like a car wheel or a bicycle wheel and grab the middle and twist it round. But actually, with a Ferris wheel, that's not a very good idea. If I push down here, you can see that the string moves a lot before the wheel starts moving.
When Ed turns the wheel from near the middle, he puts pressure on the spokes, stretching them. Ed attaches a handle to the wheel's axle to show what happens when you turn the wheel at speed from the middle.
Let's give it a go then. And that's why you don't drive a Ferris wheel from the centre.
Bassett decides to drive his wheel from the rim to reduce stress on the spokes. But coupling engines to the wheel's rim isn't easy. Having spent many years in the British Navy, Bassett hits on a nautical solution. Anchor chains are strong and cheap to make. Ships use special winches called capstans to pull the chains. Bassett decides to use this technology to drive his Earl's Court wheel. He loops two 300-meter chains around the rim. The chains run underground, where 5-ton weights hold them taut. Two steam engines turn the capstans which pull the chains. These drive the wheel from the rim without putting strain on the spokes. When it opens in 1895, the gigantic wheel at Earl's Court is one of the tallest structures of any kind in London. It's an instant landmark, a symbol of British engineering superiority. But its success is short-lived. Just a few days after the wheel opens, one of the weights keeping the drive chains tight works itself loose. The chain falls slack and jams between the rim and one of the carriages. One evening 10 months later, the wheel breaks down again. This time, around 70 people are stuck in the cars, and there's no way of getting them down.
It was cold. A lot of them didn't have warm enough clothing on, so they tore the curtains off the windows and wrapped in those.
At dawn, 2 ex-sailors climb the wheel to carry food to the stranded passengers. Eventually, 15 hours after the wheel jams, mechanics manage to get it working again and bring the passengers safely to the ground. It's a public relations disaster. But Bassett hits on a way to turn adversity into opportunity. He gives every passenger who'd been stuck on the wheel a £5 note. Word of his generosity soon spreads.
So the next day, there were 11 or 12,000 people elected to ride the wheel, hoping it would break down so they could get their £5 note.
Bassett's idea of driving the wheel by its rim stands the test of time. The principle is still used today on the biggest sky wheel in the world. The Flyer's designers could follow Bassett and drive their wheel using a chain around the rim. But the Flyer is 70 meters taller than the Earl's Court wheel. This means each chain would have to be half a kilometer long and so heavy it could break under its own weight. So to drive their wheel, engineers choose a simple but elegant solution: the strong grip of rubber. They take solid rubber tires of the type used on forklift trucks and position them at the bottom of the wheel. Above them, they place another set of tires. These grip the rim of the Flyer and, powered by electric motors, slowly drive the wheel around. The rubber tires turn the Flyer smoothly through a complete revolution every 30 minutes.